Hi everybody, welcome back to Ideas Times 2. I'm Cindy and I'm here with part 2 of a tutorial on making signature covers. So just briefly, signature covers are not necessary, they're not required. You don't like them, you don't need to do them. I don't do them on the majority of my journals, but for this project that I'm working on, I wanted to leave the signatures mostly unadorned, unembellished. And so I thought a way to add some interest and to the journal then would be with signature covers. And I have this beautiful paper by Stamperia that I'm using for the signature covers. And one reason I wanted to do this is because this is an Alice in Wonderland theme, and I wanted to add some dimensionality. And so the signature that I made with you the other day doesn't have a lot, just some pockets and things, nothing too out of the ordinary. And I'll show you what I did with the two signature covers that I have done at the end of the video. But for this third signature cover that I am working on today, I wanted to add some more whimsy, some more surprises. And so I'm going to add some pop-up elements here in this third signature cover, and that's what I want to do with you today. And I just look down at my hands and I see that my nails are really, really bad. I apologize. I've been doing laundry and cleaning and crafting, and Fabri-Tac takes nail polish right off. So I apologize. I should have done my nails before I got started. So all I have right here is literally just a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And so what I would like to do today is make, like I said, some pop-up elements, some things to add some surprises. So I'm going to start with a piece of 8 by 8 paper. It really doesn't matter the size that you use as long as the paper is square. If it's not square, this isn't going to work. It doesn't matter if it's two-sided or single-sided. For this, I'm using just regular paper rather than cardstock. I think that this is a much better, with just regular paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half. And use the bone folder to make sure that the creases are nice and crisp. And I'm going to fold it again going the other direction. So now you can see it's got four squares. The next part can be a little tricky, but it's not hard at all. And I'm going to fold it now going on the diagonal. Just one time. And so with this paper, it's pretty, it doesn't really matter which direction the diagonal is going, but if you have paper like this one, for example, that has a very definite picture that you might want to keep whole, make sure that the diagonal is not on your picture. Okay, that makes sense? I don't know. But so for this, it doesn't really matter too much for this. So I just put it going this direction. Now what you're going to want to do is, and I always go back on the diagonal going both directions. So now what you're going to do is take the two sides that are on the diagonal fold, you see here, and I'm going to bring those to the center so that they touch, and then fold it down this way, and that gives me an element that will, when it's opened, will pop open. So for this journal, I want to have, I hope I have all the pieces here, all of the, I want to have something on the inside. So I just did this on this heart paper, and I want to, instead of leaving it blank, which you could leave it blank, this would be a fantastic space for writing in a journal, so that, for writing secrets, and then it folds up and it just disappears. But I wanted this to be, like I said, have an element of whimsy. So what I did was I took another 8x8 paper and I cut it in the same shapes as my folds. And then I trimmed it a little bit so that there would be just kind of a white edge all the way around. And so when this opens, it'll be like another little surprise. And I took a piece of paper that has a picture, so that each of the pieces, when they're put together like a puzzle, creates an image. And each of my signature covers have something to do with time and tea at this point. And so I'm just going to put them, glue them down, and I'm going to put my squares in first to make sure that I have everything going in the right direction. And then I have the other 4 pieces that will go like this. And I'm going to glue these off camera, so you don't have to sit here and watch me for the next 3 minutes. And I'll be right back. All right, so I've glued all the pieces in, and that's what it looks like. And I thought that would be fun when it pops open, to have a picture. Just nothing too serious, just a little surprise. So for that to work, if you want to, you could just glue this onto a page and maybe, clip it so that, when you unclip, you can open it like this. I've done that before. I have also, glued multiple ones together, like this, and done accordion journals using this technique, and that's a lot of fun as well, but not quite what I wanted for this journal. So what I'm going to do next is grab my paper cutter, and I need to cut a piece of paper that is a little wider than my square from across the widest part here, which is should be about 5.5 inches. So this side has the teapots on it, since most of the elements in my signature covers already have something to do with tea. I'm going to have this on the outside, and I really like this inside with the red of the hearts. Except those are going to be upside down. So maybe I will put the teapots on the inside. I'm going to fold this in half. And grab my handy dandy glue. And so I'm going to glue, first I'm going to glue on the bottom, and I want the open side facing down. Maybe I'm starting to run out of glue. I'm not putting as much glue on there as it might seem because I'm running low, and I'm going to glue this down with the top right on the fold. Then I'm going to glue this side. And even though I liked the red hearts with the other side of the paper better, it's really not going to make any difference because you really don't see, well, you don't see the end pieces at all. And even the side pieces, those side folds, you really don't see either. So I'm going to fold this over. And glue it down really well so when you open it, this is what it will do. I think that's super cute. And I might add some other embellishments so that when it opens, it's even more. And here's my signature cover. Here it is. And that will go in here, and it will open like that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down as long as it's ready to go. And it will add a little element of surprise, which is what I want. I think with Alice in Wonderland, it's the perfect journal to get a little whimsical and put some of unexpected things. And I'm going to put this right on the bottom. Actually, I think I'm going to put it on the top so that it opens outside of the pages. And on the right side, I want to make sure that it's far enough away from the fold that when I put the signature in here, I'm not sure where the signature is. I've already made the papers to go inside, but I want to make sure that there's enough room for the papers to be, for the journal to fold, journal cover to fold, and for the papers that are inside. So cool, huh? And I still need to, I'll embellish this in some way, maybe add a little something, some words down here. And I have another element, another three-dimensional pop-out that I would like to share with you today. So I'm gonna put on the back. And let's see. And I'm going to do an envelope flip for this, and so I'm going to use the card as well, just a craft paper. So what you're going to need for this, if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it, is with an envelope, and I'm doing a 4.5 by 5 3/4 envelope, and the card that goes inside. If you don't want an envelope, don't use one, but you will need a piece of cardstock for this, and I'm going to use some playing cards. And I'm going to just use 4. And I also need a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, and because I'm using cards, and I just need to make sure that my piece of paper is big enough for the cards, and it's about the right size to go inside here. So well, let's put these in order. So something like that is what I'm going to do. If you don't want to use playing cards, don't use playing cards. You can do just 4 pieces of cardstock, but you'll want an even number of playing cards, an even number of whatever your squares or rectangles are, and a piece of paper to put them on. So I think this is the size that I want to go with. And my playing cards are 3.5 inches tall and 2.5 inches wide. So what I'm going to do before I glue those down, though, is to fold my paper. I just looked at the back, and that picture is so cute. I don't know if I want to glue that down. So maybe I will use the polka dots instead, because the Cheshire Cat is too gorgeous. So the playing cards were what, 3.5? 3.5. So I'm going to go with 4.25 inches. And that's just the back of the cover. So nobody's going to see that. That's not going to make any difference. So what I'm going to do then first, before I glue my cards down, is to fold the paper in half with the paper that I want out, facing out. And I'm going to use the bone folder again. I want everything to be crisp and straight. Then I'm going to fold each of the end pieces in towards the fold in the middle. So that you have a W. So now I'm going to glue my cards down in each of these 4 spots. And these are Alice in Wonder playing cards, but I have only 2 face cards left. So it doesn't really matter. Like I said, you don't need to use playing cards. That's just what I wanted to do, since playing cards are such a big part of the Alice in Wonderland book. I wanted to include these elements, and I like the contrast here with the black and kind of a black and tan with the red and tan. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's a beautiful day here in Virginia, not too hot. We had some rain yesterday, which was nice. And just centering these in, I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing where the dots are. And really, this is not for journaling. I'm not leaving any space on this, well, on the inside anyway, of this element for journaling, but it is strictly for fun. A string of glue on there. Strings of glue everywhere, it looks like. Get out my glue eraser, I think, before I'm done with this element. Okay. Oops, that off a little bit there. All right. So there's so many different things you could do with this. If you have grandkids or children and you have 4 of them, you're want to make a card for Father's Day, or for your father for Father's Day. You could do the same thing. This would be so many things you could do for that. Next, you'll want your background paper, and you're going to glue down just the 2 end pieces, and you want to make sure that your fold is aligned with the fold of your background. And nothing that I'm doing today is obviously difficult. I have a couple of other things I'm going to show you on my next video that are a little more elaborate, that are also a lot of fun, but I wanted to show today that it does not take a lot of effort or a lot of experience or know-how to be able to make simple elements that can add some extra whimsy. And I'm not going all the way to the edge on here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, because I'm going to add probably some other elements in the corners, give it a little bit more dimension, a little bit more visual interest. Oh no, I thought I put this on upside down, but I didn't. My eyes were deceiving me on that. Okay. So while the glue is still wet, I'm going to fold it. That way the glue will slide, just in case I have that going. Or I didn't have my creases aligned. So now when I put this in the envelope, I'm going to have, you know, everything embellished. I'm going to embellish this, and then you open it up and I'll add a few other things. It will be another element of whimsy, something just for fun. And, you know, Alice in Wonderland, you can't really go wrong with that, right? So that's the second element. So we've made today with the origami fold, and then this I'm going to put in here, and so it'll flip out. Well, the envelope will flip out, and then this will be in there for something fun, another three-dimensional something, and I'll embellish more off stage. And so I said, so that's it for the tutorial part for today. That's 2 elements that you can easily add to your journals that will add 3 dimensions without adding bulk to your journal. So if that's all you're here for today, you're free to go. Summer vacation, but I'm still in teacher mode. Class is dismissed. But if you would like to see what I've done with the other 2 journal covers, stick around for another 5 minutes or so, and I'll show you what I've made. So here in the front, I have a couple of different cards and whatnot. And if you are familiar with the work of Yana at Yana's Crafting, I don't know if she does tutorials, but I've seen a lot of flip-throughs, and I find her work always inspiring, and she's heavily inspired this project. So here in the front, I just have this card. I've added a teapot charm to the corner there, and some lace paper in the back for writing. And I have in the front pockets here, I just have 2 Tim Holtz vocabulary cards that I've embellished and mounted on paper so that they can be used for writing. And on the inside, then I have this little flip and some postcards in that pocket. And in the back, I've added a coloring book page and a little notebook. And they have stayed really well in that side tuck. They have not fallen out even once. And a bookmark or journaling tag right there. And in the back, I added a clock that I'm using as a tuck spot there, and I've embellished that. I've added a closure, and whoops. And here's the little notebook that we made the other day, and I've embellished a little bit more with some rubber stamps and that. So I thought that was fun. And this one doesn't have a lot of elements because I've spent more time on the big one on the front, which I'll open last. But on the inside, I just put a side tuck and an envelope. And in the back, just a small pocket with a couple of elements and another card with a watch on a chain and another rusty paper clip. So nothing too fancy schmancy on these. And on the back, I just put a little tuck spot there and made a collaged journaling card to go in there. But really the big thing that I spent a lot of time on with this journal cover is the front. I made this small junk journal, and it's closed with Velcro and slides through this belly band, and can completely be taken out, small enough to fit in a bag, or pocket of your suitcase if you're traveling and using it for like a travel journal. And on the inside, this one is embellished, and so I've got some coffee stained paper, a little cluster, and some playing cards. And book pages and coloring pages and lots of fun stuff. On the center of the signature, I've got these floating pockets, and they have ephemera in them. This is an index card, a little index card journal. Another side tuck, and this opens for another little journaling spot. So not heavily embellished, but with a lot of fun little things in there. And then the fold is just held down with Velcro. So those are the two that I've already finished, and I have a few things I still want to do with the third one, and I'd like to get this journal finished this week, I hope, fingers crossed. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you were inspired to maybe try some pop-ups, some three-dimensional things in your journals. And if you're not a subscriber, we love our subscribers, so please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified when we have new videos. And join us again for some new content. We're always busy crafting, and I think Betsy will have another video here real quick. And thanks everybody. I will see you later. Bye bye everybody.